Having already visited nearby Fraueninsel, which included trips to the Augustinian monastery and Ludwig II's unfinished monument to Versailles, Chiemsee Palace, I decided to take another short boat ride across Chiemsee Lake to Fraueninsel to see the Benedictine convent there, as well as the other beautiful surroundings. As a side note, Fraueninsel means man's island and Fraueninsel means woman's island, though whether they are named that way because of relative size or because there was a monastery on one and a convent on the other is unknown to me. In addition to housing Germany's oldest nunnery, Fraueninsel is also home to Europe's smallest artist colony and several long-established fishing families. Unlike Fraueninsel, which is largely uninhabited, Fraueninsel is home to about 300 permanent residents and several cafes and beer gardens. The convent was built at the end of the 8th century, and its first abbess was Irmgard, who was greatly revered and eventually sainted, though not until 1928. Her remains are behind the high altar in the church, which was erected in the 11th century, and some of the frescoes in the church date from the mid-12th century. One of the things I found so interesting is how the stone door sill was worn away from so many people crossing it over the centuries. The door knocker itself dates to the mid-9th century from Irmgard's time. I had a delightful day walking around, taking in the scenery, absorbing the history, and admiring the small but bustling island. I even had the chance to see the 1,200-year-old linden tree, which is protected but much admired. Eventually, it was time to make my way back to the mainland, but first I had to stop to grab a bottle of the nuns' famous Chiemsee liqueur. I was sad to go, but it was certainly worth the stop by this quaint and historic island.